Well, I'm James Davis. I live in Robinson. Grew up in Chilton, which is south of there. Uh, Spent some of my career down in the Bryan College Station area in a small town called Anderson, and that's where we were living at the time that we lost Matthew. I've had a really good life, and I only really think that in my mind that I think about having lost Matthew is being the only bad thing that really, happened. Everything else, I've been lucky enough to fall down, get up, and go again. On April 11th, 2010, Matthew was coming home from the youth program at our church. He was almost 20 years old, had gone back to the youth program to basically be a counselor for the junior high kids. And he had graduated out of the youth program when he graduated from high school, but had been very involved in it. And he was coming home same time of night that he'd been coming home since he got his driver's license when he was 16. So usually got home about 8:45 on Sunday nights, and when he wasn't home at 8:45, I had some premonition that something happened. I wasn't sure what or anything, but we started calling him and didn't hear from him. A short time later, the county sheriff, who's a really good friend, came in personally and told us that Matthew had had a wreck and that he didn't make it. That was hit as hard as you can be hit by anything. The night we had visitation, we had so many people. We stood there for about 3 hours and talked to people about Matthew, and the outpouring the next day at the funeral was huge. There's probably nothing more that could make us feel good about Matthew other than the people that showed up, because it's the worst thing in your life, and at least you have your family and all your friends there to be around. I don't know that I really got my grief in during the early part of time after we lost Matthew, because I was just so busy trying to take care of everybody else. And so it was a few months later that we heard about a support group for people who had lost a child. The biggest thing all of us talk about is that there isn't a name for parents who've lost a child. You're not like a widow or a widower or whatever. So it's an unusual occurrence. It's one of those things that by nature is not really supposed to happen. You're supposed to outlive your children, and so it's very difficult. But start on the road of going on with life really started for us with the support group. We learned real quickly that we became friends with these people, and we, as we went through and basically got to be to know all of those people, we found that we could then kid each other, start to laugh again, things that you don't really think you're ever going to do again. Kathy and I are part of, we're basically the leaders of something called the Compassionate Friends. It's a national organization that is basically that same type of support group where parents, grandparents, and siblings can come and discuss their feelings and listen to other parents, and people give you instructions on what it's going to be like on your child's birthday, on the anniversary of their death, those kinds of things that are really important. So you don't run up on those days without knowing what to expect or to possibly expect. It's been 12 years for Kathy and I, and it's really, we're at a place where we weren't sure that we had any hope for a real normal life again, and we found that hope with a support group and with our connection to ourselves and with our faith. So it's really a combination of those three things that have gotten us to where we are now. It's difficult for some people after a loss like this not to falter a little bit with their faith or ask God why and those kinds of things. And for us, we think that our faith is what kept us going. Our connection to the church and the connection to our faith and the connection to each other. I'm James Davis, and life is possible and hope is real.